The items that are needed to prepare an EBUS scope for a procedure are the balloons for the tip of the scope, the tweezers. This is what the balloon looks like in the package. You also need a normal saline flush, a 3-way stopcock. The 3-way stopcock goes on the balloon port of the scope. Then the normal saline flush goes on the 3-way stopcock. And the trick is to fill the balloon chamber with normal saline prior to putting the balloon on. So you fill that up till it comes out the end. Then you take your balloon and your reverse tweezers. You're going to pinch about halfway up on the small portion of the balloon. I hold here to make sure I don't lose my grip. And then roll the balloon over the tip of the tweezers. That causes the balloon to open up. You then slide the balloon over the tip of the EBUS scope and then just roll the tweezers down and pop it on. You can see that the top is not all the way on. Just get it good and lined up and then fill the balloon with some saline. If you don't fill the chamber first, your balloon will be filled with nothing but air. I did have some air in there, so I was trying to push some of that out. That looks good. So now I'm just going to pop the top all the way down onto the scope and then fill it with saline again. You can see that I've got some air in there. And then there's not a neat way to do this. You're just going to squeeze on the balloon until it squirts out and hopefully removes the air at the same time. Then pop the top back on, refill the balloon. And as you can see, we have no air in there. That's exactly how you want it. So then just remove all of the saline from the balloon. The bronchoscope is then plugged into the main console. There are 2 additional connections that are color-coded for your convenience. You line up with the lower mark and then rotate it to the upper mark. You grab the second connection and do the same. Line up with the lower mark. Twist it until it lines up with the upper mark. This is the main power button. It turns all of the consoles on. This is the suction port that comes in with the EBUS needle. You place that on the suction port of the EBUS scope. The tab sticks directly out from the scope. You then grab your EBUS needle and insert it through the suction port. Once the needle is all of the way in, it does lock into place by pushing this piece forward. And now you are ready to set the depth of the needle sheath. You want to make sure that your needle is locked in place. And you can see that the sheath is all of the way out of the end of the scope. So you're going to turn the light on and you can see the sheath of the needle. And you're going to slowly start to pull back from the base of the needle, pull the sheath out until there is only about a half moon portion of the needle showing on the camera. Once you do that, you tighten this silver screw and that holds the needle in place. Now you can unlock the needle and remove it from the scope, and your scope is ready to go. This is the keyboard that controls the ultrasound portion. You always want to make sure that this main console is turned on because it does get sometimes turned off. When you're ready to turn on the EBUS, you hit the freeze button. That turns on the ultrasound portion of the scope. If your physician asks you at one point to turn on the color mode or the flow mode, you hit this flow button. It shows the arterial and venous flow that surrounds any lymph node so that they know to avoid that. Thank you.